think the biggest question when anyone looks at a product like this is, does it work? I can say without any hesitation, it does flawlessly. This is the DesertTech Quattro-15. It is a lower that has been modified to receive a quad stack magazine, the DesertTech Quad Mag 53 or QMag 53 for short, allowing the user to nearly double the capacity of a standard AR-15. This was originally developed as a military request. The concept was to cut down on reloads and the idea that a soldier's standard loadout is 210 rounds. 7 mags with standard capacity magazines only requires 4 of the Q mags. This actually cuts down on the amount of weight a soldier is carrying as well. One Q mag only weighs 6.3 ounces, while 2 P mags weigh 9.6 ounces. Now, it's not a huge difference, but a soldier would be saving just over half a pound by carrying 4 Q mags as opposed to 7 P mags. Seems like a solid concept, however, it wasn't adopted, so the American civilian is once again the benefactor of a product developed for the military but never put into action. I want to address this fairly early, as I'm sure keyboard warriors everywhere are getting ready to launch their assault. There is an adapter that attaches to the Quattro-15 lower, allowing it to accept standard magazines. I don't have one, so I can't show you how it works, but it looks like it attaches fairly easily, and now if you have the need to stop shooting Q mags in your gun, you can make it accept P mags. I am very glad DesertTech did this and made it available because, let's face it, Q mags are new on the scene and there are millions of standard magazines in circulation, so no worries. If you get a Quattro-15, it will accept basically any AR magazine that you can come up with. Another thing I think DesertTech did really well is add some very intuitive ambi controls. Let's face it, they could have just made a lower that accepted a quad stack magazine that functioned, and that would have been impressive on its own, but DesertTech didn't stop there. They went a step farther and included the bolt release and magazine release on both sides of the lower, accomplished this on the right side of the lower with a little lever that you see on a couple manufacturers now. Up on this lever will hold the bolt open, and down will release the bolt. Very natural and easy to use. I'm always a fan of the ambi bolt release. There is also a really nice flare on the magazine well of the Quattro-15 to aid in the loading of the Q mags. From an ergonomics standpoint, all the boxes are checked on the Quattro-15 lower. DesertTech has skeletonized the lower, making the Quattro lower weigh in at only 9 ounces, which is impressive for a lower that receives a quad stack magazine. 9 ounces is also right on par with the weight of typical stripped lowers, meaning the lower itself won't add any weight to your loadout. Now, when some of you see the cuts in the receiver, you may think the same thing I did. What about dust and debris getting into the system? Well, DesertTech has addressed this as well. They made the magazine in such a way that it has a flange that goes up into the receiver. This should keep almost any debris out and definitely closes the system up, even though the receiver may look like that it is open to the elements. The magazine itself is actually just a little shorter than a standard magazine. It is of course wider, but I wouldn't say wider to the point that they're cumbersome or awkward. They actually feel really good and very well built. It definitely feels like a quality magazine and not some cheap oddity or gimmicky accessory. It feels like it was developed for military use because it was. The biggest thing is it works. If this is something you desire in your arsenal, it definitely works. We ran just over 1,000 rounds through it without a single malfunction. Now, it doesn't take that long to hit that number when you're dumping 53 rounds at a time. But we also did some more normal shooting with it just to see how it feels, and it worked great in all aspects. I posted a teaser video on Instagram a while back, and I was surprised at the number of people who wanted to know if it would work with 300 Blackout. When I can, I try to give you guys what you want. So I got a 16-inch 300 Blackout barrel. No one wants anything bad happening to their dogs, and put together an upper with some random parts I had laying around. Not sure who out there is mag dumping 53 rounds of 300 Blackout at a time, but if you are, make sure that it's Callaway Ballistics 300 Blackout. They helped the channel out a ton and provided all the ammo for this video, 5.56 and 300 Blackout. Well, here it is. Does the Quattro-15 work with 300 Blackout?
All right, we're doing the 300 Black mag dump. Felt like it was done, but it wasn't. Now it's done.
Well, yes it does apparently. I thought it ran out at one point, but the Quattro-15 did make it through all 53 rounds of Callaway Ballistics 300 Blackout ammo without a hitch. Even aside from the ability to take the quad stack mags or regular magazines, the Quattro-15 is a really nice ambi lower receiver. If you price out really nice ambi lower receivers, you will find that the price of the Quattro is far better than most, with the added capability of taking the quad stack magazines. In fact, you could buy the lower, a couple mags, and the standard mag adapter for less than most comparably equipped ambi lowers. I know this will be a must-have for my personal collection, if for no other reason than the sweet taste of liberal tears. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because as always we have some really big reviews in the works that you won't want to miss. If you want to know what those reviews are way before they hit the YouTube channel, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where you can see what's being reviewed in real time. And by the way, check the links in the description. There you can find some cool stuff that I found and the best deals on it. If you want to help support Alabama Arsenal, the absolute best way to do that is through Patreon. These videos can be surprisingly expensive to make, and every little bit helps and is greatly appreciated. There's also Alabama Arsenal gear available right below the video if you want to go out and represent. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching.